Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Knighton prepares bid to buy club from Glazer family. Revert back to 1989, Knighton tried to purchase Manchester United. He aborted a £20 million bid. Knighton is known for his involvement with Manchester United and Carlisle United. Now the Glazers own Manchester United. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 17 years. The Glazers have been at Man United since 2005. They purchased the club for around 500 million. Now, for a long time now, the vast majority of Manchester United fans have been protesting against the Glazers. And Man United fans are planning a protest against the Glazers ahead of the game against Liverpool at Old Trafford next week. But yeah, we've got to get the Glazers out of the club. They've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. At Manchester United, we've also got John Murtough and Richard Arnold. John Murtough is our director of football. We made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we need at the club. And Richard Arnold is our CEO. He did replace Ed Woodward when Woodward resigned. Ed Woodward was at Man United for around 17 years. We've got Benny McCarthy at the club. We have Steve McLaren and Mitchell van der Gag. Steve McLaren and Mitchell van der Gag are working alongside Ten Hag at Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag was the one that recommended them in. And not so long ago, Sir Alex Ferguson came back to Manchester United in an advisory role. Not so long ago, Ferguson met up with Cristiano Ronaldo. Sir Alex Ferguson is the former Manchester United manager. He's the greatest manager of all time. When he was the Manchester United manager, he won over 30 trophies. That includes 13 Premier League titles. So reflecting on that, he brought success to the club. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was the Manchester United manager for around 26 years. So reflecting on that, he enjoyed a long managerial tenure. No one will replicate what Ferguson did at the club, so in that aspect we've got to accept that. Alex Ferguson retired almost 10 years ago. And obviously Eric Ten Hag is Manchester United's manager. Eric Ten Hag's reign as manager got off to an awful start last weekend as Manchester United lost 2-1 at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. And reflecting on that loss, you know, a lot of Manchester United fans prejudged Eric Ten Hag, but like I've said on my recent videos, you can't just prejudge a manager after one game. You know, I've still got a lot of faith in Eric Ten Hag. I think he can make Manchester United competitive again. He just needs the time. You know, don't forget this is the first ever time that Ten Hag's managing in the Premier League, and the Premier League is totally contrast to the Dutch League. You've got to give Ten Hag credit for what he did at Ajax. When he was at Ajax, he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. Ten Hag was the Ajax manager for around 5 years. Ten Hag is under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. He's Man United's 5th permanent manager since Alex Ferguson. So far this summer, Erik Ten Hag has made 3 signings. Manchester United signed Tyrell Malacia from Feyenoord. Man United signed Christian Eriksen on a free transfer. Christian Eriksen did sign a 3-year contract. And Man United signed Lisandro Martinez from Ajax. We've seen players leave Manchester United this year, but despite that, Ten Hag is still inheriting Deadwood. So the players that have left this year, obviously Tellez recently went out on loan to Sevilla with no buy option. I said, didn't I, Tellez was going to be going when Man United signed Tyrell Malacia. We saw Dean Henderson go to Nottingham Forest on loan. Lee Grant left earlier on this year. Matic, he left Man United, he went to Roma, so he's reuniting with Mourinho. Pogba left Man United on a free transfer for the 2nd time, he made a return to Juventus. Lingard left when his contract expired, Lingard joined Nottingham Forest. Manchester United sold Andres Pereira. Juan Mata also left Man United on a free transfer. Edinson Cavani left earlier on this year. So there you go, and we've seen quite a few young players leave. More players are on their way out of the club. I think Jones is on his way out of the club. I think Baye's on his way out. I think Tuanzebe's on his way out. Revert back to last season, he had a loan spell with Aston Villa. He enjoyed 3 loan spells with Aston Villa. Harry Maguire, I think he'll leave, but not until next year. I think Delon and Wan-Bissaka are on the way out of the club. Lindelof and Fred think they could leave next year. Do you think Manchester United could still sell Martial? Martial missed Man United's opening game against Brighton through injury. To Martial's credit, he did really well throughout pre-season. Scored quite a few goals. Last season, Martial was out on loan with Sevilla. Brandon Williams, he's on his way out of the club as well. He's out of injury at the moment. Last season he was out on loan with Norwich. Cristiano Ronaldo, he could still leave Manchester United. Not so long ago it said the United squad want Ronaldo gone. Ronaldo's contract at Manchester United expires next year. There's an option of a further year. The other week it said that Ronaldo wanted his Man United contract ripped up so he could leave on a free transfer. Ronaldo didn't start Man United's 2-1 defeat to Brighton, but he did come on in the game. Revert back to Man United's final pre-season friendly against Rayo Vallecano. Ronaldo left before the end of the friendly, so that stirred suggestions up. He missed the vast majority of Man United's pre-season games due to family reasons. A number of clubs have been in for Ronaldo. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last year from Juventus, so Ronaldo's now in his second spell at Man United. Since he re-signed, he's got 18 goals in the Premier League. He has 24 goals in all competitions. You know the news regarding Marcus Rashford. Man United insist that Marcus Rashford is not for sale. PSG are interested in signing Marcus Rashford. RMC Sport said the other day that PSG had begun discussions for Marcus Rashford. PSG value Rashford at around 60 million. Man United are trying to agree a new contract with Rashford. That was according to Rob Dawson from ESPN. Rashford's contract at the club expires next year. There's an option of a further year. Rashford, he played against Brighton last weekend. He had some good chances, to be fair. There was one chance where he was in the 6-yard box and hit it straight at the Brighton keeper. He did well throughout pre-season, to his credit. Rashford is a good young player, but a lot of United fans have said, including me, he hasn't been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of, last season with that shoulder problem. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And he's gone on to make 304 appearances in all competitions, and he's scored like 93 goals. So there you go. Man United are confident of making more signings before transfer deadline. Now, there's been a lot of rumours coming out about Adrian Rabiot. Recently, Man United had a meeting with Adrian Rabiot. The Athletic said that Man United were working on signing Adrian Rabiot, and it said Man United have agreed a 15 million fee. Adrian Rabiot is at Juventus. He's got like a year left on his contract. Juventus got him on a free transfer from PSG, and before, Rabiot's had 2 loan spells with Toulouse. At one point he was at Man City. He was in Manchester City's academy. For the entire summer, Man United have been chasing Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona. Not so long ago, like he updated you, it said that Man United agreed a deal with Frenkie de Jong's agent. There again, on the other side of things, it said Chelsea had agreed a fee with Barcelona for Frenkie de Jong. Erik ten Hag wants a reunion with the player. Erik ten Hag worked alongside de Jong at Ajax. De Jong is a versatile midfielder. He's been at Barcelona since 2019. He's got a contract with Barcelona until 2026. Barcelona got him from Ajax in a deal worth 65 million. So there you go. 5 managers have left Manchester United since Ferguson. Manchester United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. So he only enjoyed a short managerial tenure at the club. After David Moyes, Manchester United had Louis van Gaal. Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then after Louis van Gaal, Manchester United had Jose Mourinho. We sacked him after like 2.5 years. He did well in his first season, Mourinho, because he won 3 trophies, but didn't do well in his second season. After Mourinho, Man United had Solskjaer. We sacked him in November last year. Solskjaer was the United manager for almost 3 years. Solskjaer's final game in charge was the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Despite him getting sacked last year, the club will always adore Solskjaer because he's a legend of the club. There was positives to take from Solskjaer's managerial tenure, because in his first full season got us a third place finish, and Solskjaer got us to semi-finals. He got us to the Europa League final as well in his second full season. Got us a second place finish as well. But we didn't win anything under Solskjaer. Solskjaer, when he was the United manager, signed around 14 players. He also got rid of a lot of players as well. After Solskjaer, Manchester United had Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick left earlier on this year. And that's it, and obviously now Man United have Ten Hag. Last season, Man United finished 6th. We enjoyed our worst Premier League season in terms of points. Now today, Manchester United are away to Brentford. It's Man United's second game of the Premier League season. It kicks off at 5:30. I'm hoping Man United can bounce back from that 2-1 home defeat to Brighton last weekend. Brentford, obviously, they drew their opening game with Leicester 2-2. I do know a lot of the players that Brentford have got, like I mentioned on the preview and my predictions and that. Ivan Toney, he's probably the best player Brentford have got. He scores the vast majority of their goals. Keane Lewis Potter, Brentford signed him from Hull. Brian Mbeumo is a good attacking player. Sergei Canos, he's a key player for Brentford. He's been out with injury. Joe Valencia, Shandon Baptiste, Christian Norgard, Frank Onyeka. They have Pontus Jansson, he's a former Leeds player. Finn Stevens, Tariq Fosu, Rico Henry. Ethan Pinnock, he's been out with injury. Matthias Jensen. The goalkeepers Brentford have got, they've got David Raya and Thomas Strakosha. So they're a lot of the players that Brentford do have. Let me put into the equation that they've lost players. The loan Nathan Young-Coombs out to Wimbledon. They lost Marcus Forss to Middlesbrough. They lost Christian Eriksen as well, don't forget. If Christian Eriksen plays in this game today, like I mentioned on the preview, he'll be reuniting with Brentford. Eriksen, of course, played last week against Brighton. It was his Premier League debut. He was obviously put into a deeper role by Ten Hag. Some people may criticise Ten Hag for doing that, to be honest with you. Brentford also lost Ollie Watkins as well. He went to Aston Villa from Brentford. They lost Ben Rama. He went to West Ham from Brentford. So there you go. This season is Brentford's second season in the Premier League. Revert back to last season, it was the first time Brentford had been in the top flight for around 74 years. Brentford's manager is Thomas Frank. He's got a contract with Brentford till 2025. Thomas Frank got appointed in as the Brentford manager back in October 2018, so he's been the Brentford manager for almost 4 years. Before he was the manager of Brentford, he was the Brentford assistant, and revert back to before then, he was the manager of Bromby, and you know, before he's managed Denmark's under 16s, Denmark's under 17s, Denmark's under 18s, and Denmark's under 19s. Last season, Man United did the double over Brentford. Man United won at the Brentford Community Stadium last season 3-1. And Man United beat Brentford at Old Trafford 3-0. So there you go, and Manchester United's next game after Brentford is at home to Liverpool, and that's going to be a very, very tough game. So anyway guys, I'll be on for match reaction later on after the game. Drop me comments, likes on the channel if you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon, and thanks for watching.